Tonight on episode 34 of the Penthouse Basements podcast, it's a special two-part episode in Pete's car on the way to a show. Join me, your fearless host, David Lamason, with Pete, our driver, and Zazie Morgan. Topics discussed include a spoiler-free Black Panther review, famous Howard University alumni, and we create our own Penthouse Basements Improv Club improv class. Then Dave Johnston joins us in part 2 to recap the show we were just in and debunk Cher's whereabouts during the DC March for Our Lives. All this and more next on episode 34 of the Penthouse Basements Best. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this special on-the-road edition of the Penthouse Basements podcast. I think we're episode 34, if I remember correctly. Yes, episode 34 of the Penthouse Basements podcast in Pete's car.
Yeah!
Who's here with me?
Zazie Morgan.
And?
Pete.
He's driving,
Driving. So if you hear a crash, it's because I ran into the back of someone because I wasn't paying attention.
Could this be the first podcast featuring a death?
Yes.
Or 3?
I thought there was a death in episode 13.
I'll have to go back and check the tape for that. Could be. Listeners, please go back to episode 13 and comment if you hear a death.
Interestingly, I just like to point out that I feel like it's episode 34.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 34 years old.
Oh.
And I just bought a condo, and the number is 304.
Wow.
So something special might be about to happen.
Yeah.
It's like, what was that Jim Carrey movie?
23.
The number 23? That was
Yeah.
what it was called? I never saw it. Did you see that, Pete?
Yeah.
Quick movie review of it?
Not very good. I think this is a little too dark for... Because I know the whole, theory behind, the number 23 popping up.
Mm-hmm.
What is the theory?
Illuminati.
Yeah, the Illuminati.
Oh,
a whole bunch of other...
Mm-hmm.
A whole bunch of other things.
Aliens.
Yeah, and just, the sequence of, nature and stuff. So 23, comes up, supposedly more often than other things.
I wonder why.
I have no idea.
Maybe it is a conspiracy. Well, anyway, before we get started even more, there's several ways to get in touch with the Penthouse Basements. You can follow us on Twitter at improv_PB. You can follow us on YouTube. Go there, just search for the Penthouse Basements. You can follow us on Facebook. Again, search for the Penthouse Basements. And I never remember. Instagram, yes. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Our new Instagram account. Just search for the Penthouse Basements. We're making you do all the work, basically. If you want to follow us. But I guess that means you're super loyal if you want to put in the effort to turn on the computer, wait for it to warm up, desktop come up, click on the internet, go to the specific sites, use your fingers and hands and type in our name, and then use the mouse to hit buttons to follow specific social media accounts involved with the Penthouse Basement.
But if you had Slack, you could have all that in one spot.
Well...
it's your thing, Pete.
Yeah.
Actually, guys, I was at my parents' house last weekend, and they have a really fancy smart TV.
Mm-hmm.
And I pressed the speaker button on the remote and said, "The Penthouse Basements on YouTube," and we came up right away.
Nice.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. You can do that with our smart remote. Although I've found that it only works the best with our TV. It specifically has 4 colored buttons: red, blue, yellow, green. But they're not on the remote. Mm-hmm. So it's just a way to get over cheap remote design, because they're like, instead of us putting these buttons on here, you just hold down the microphone and say the button.
Which involves pressing a button.
That's right, yeah. Holding down a button, so it's even more work.
So Alexa, there's
our soon-to-be queen, yes.
Our Hulu, or when I'm watching Hulu, they keep doing commercials for Alexa, and it turns on the Alexa, and then stops my TV.
They gotta fix that.
Yeah.
They gotta fix that.
We gotta find some AI folks to update that business.
So, well, go on. You were gonna say something?
I was just gonna say also, if you're listening and you love listening, you should download and subscribe to this podcast and leave us a review. Maybe 5 stars, maybe some comments.
Yeah, 5 stars or whatever the highest rating is. And again, PJ.
23 stars? Is that?
PJ's family. They are the only consistent people to have rated us 5 stars on iTunes and leave comments. No one else has.
I did.
Did you? Yes. I didn't see it. Hasn't come up. I'm checking it. You should check it. You need to check that. And maybe next podcast, if we survive this car ride, I'll double check to make sure.
If I can merge.
Damn you, 395.
We've got a beautiful view of the Capitol right now. Or by the Capitol, I mean the Jefferson Monument.
You've lived here for so long, everything looks the same.
Have you guys had people in town who think that the Capitol is the White House? I've twice had it happen. I think my friends are just idiots.
I'm not going to speculate on the intelligence level of your friends. I mean, you see one big white house with columns, you've seen them all. So, that huge penis-shaped thing with the point on the top, I mean, you could think that's the convention center, but it's just the Washington Monument.
There's a really cool picture of it getting struck by lightning.
Really? Interesting. Apparently, it's more conspiracy theory. Isn't it a
Masonic?
Yes, the Masons, the Freemasons. They control everything.
Is that a conspiracy theory?
Well, they actually were Freemasons. I mean, George Washington was a Freemason.
Yeah.
And LaFont was a Freemason.
Who wasn't a Freemason?
I don't know. Barack Obama was.
Was he really?
Yeah, George Bush was.
Oh my God.
My brother is obsessed with the idea of being a Freemason, and
I tried to infiltrate them. Well, I tried to join.
I will accept no money to lay this brick. I am a Freemason.
Well, he
went
on this whole thing about how you have to ask to join 3 times and then be invited and this and this. And he told the whole story as we were going, and then we got to my house and my roommate was like, "What are you guys talking about?" And we were like, "Oh, Freemasons." We saw some exhibit, and he's like, "Oh yeah, my grandpa was a Freemason. They kept trying to get me to join. I didn't want to." My brother was so crestfallen.
It's time for everyone's favorite podcast segment, What's Up, Yo? Zazzy, what's up, yo?
Good question. My college, for the first time ever, went to the playoffs in college basketball.
Which college was that?
College of Charleston. Cougar since 18, y'all. We lost in the first round on your birthday.
This is the NCAA men's basketball tournament.
Correct.
Okay.
So I had them winning, going all the way. So I did lose my bracket as well.
Damn.
But I did also, because I was so sad at watching the end of the game, it was a close game on your birthday, some dude tried to make out with me to console me, and it was great.
He tried to?
He succeeded in it.
Oh, nice.
How old was this?
I don't want to talk about it.
88.
I don't want to talk about it.
So, I mean, it was not inconceivable that your team could have went deep in the tournament. UMBC went really far.
There you go.
And Loyola Marymount, they're still around. Is that what it is? No, Loyola Chicago.
Loyola
Chicago. Yes. I'm not as big of a college basketball fan as I am an NBA fan. So, I mean, I've been like super casually watching the games. Not really anything intent, but the night of my birthday karaoke, the UMBC Virginia game was on one of the TVs, so we watched it.
Yep.
And it was fun. So your team lost. Was that the first time they were ever in the tournament, or has it been
ever.
like other times? Wow. Maybe next year, Zazie, they will make it.
Thanks, I hope so.
Well, that's interesting.
Womp.
When your like alma mater does like something sports related, like even if you're not a huge sports fan, it is a way to like bring people together, I think.
Yeah, I was actually surprised how like excited I was. Like friends came out for things and reconnecting, but we'll always have sailing. We're the number 1 ranked sailing team in the country. So.
Saline, like saline solution?
No, like sailing a boat.
Oh. Alrighty. Pete, what's up, yo?
Found out I'm getting fired from my job.
This fuckers.
Yeah,
For no damn reason.
My company got acquired by a larger company. This larger company.
Survival of the fittest.
Designated me as a transitional employee. Which means I have to work there for 3 more months.
Yeah.
And then there's this weird month where I'm supposed to stop all my job duties and spend the entire month of looking for a job within this larger company. I don't want to say the name of the company because I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to sign an NDA, and me saying anything to disparage this company might make me ineligible to get severance. So,
Was it Howard University?
It's the company that invented the fleshlight.
Yeah.
What's the fleshlight?
So, yeah, there's that weird month where I'm supposed to just look for a job within this larger company, but there's not a job within this larger company, or I wouldn't be designated as a transitional employee. So, at the end of July 15th, I'll be getting severance from this company.
Well, that's
all one lump sum,
good.
which is kind of nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm going to spend it all, probably get like a kilo of cocaine, chop it up, put that shit on the street, make some money from it. So.
Go live at the National Harbor Casino.
Live at the Trump Hotel.
Oh, nice. Well, a similar thing happened to me, and I am going to name names because I'm bitter about it.
You didn't have to sign an NDA or anything?
No.
Really?
No. So, we worked at, do you remember Chevy Chase Bank?
Yeah.
From back in the day.
From SNL, that Chevy Chase, right?
He had his own bank.
He had so much money.
All the tellers were also huge dickholes, just like Chevy Chase.
National Lampoon's Bank.
Chevy Chase Bank, yeah. No, it's Chevy Chase, Maryland.
Uh-huh.
And they got bought out by Capital One.
Uh-huh.
And when they bought Chevy Chase, our branch, the overlords came to us and were like, oh yeah, we're gonna need you guys to stay on and help us transition from your old bank to Capital One, and you can stay on with us. And then we helped them do that. We converted the branch, and then right after we were finished, they just fucking shit canned us. Like we were like discarded Kleenex. It was ridiculous. No.
None?
No severance.
Did they say, what's in your wallet? Not a paycheck.
What's in your wallet? I'm gonna take a dump in your wallet. That's what's. I think it was a way. Like they let us. We were technically then employees of Capital One.
Uh-huh.
I think when we helped convert. So then we were there for long enough that we weren't considered Chevy Chase anymore. So they could just lay us off. I think that was what the reasoning behind it was. Why, like, we couldn't do anything about it.
What year was this?
2010.
I'm surprised you didn't get any severance from.
Yeah, it's bullshit. But whatever. I think it was a loophole or something.
I've only ever been fired from one job. You know where it was?
Firefighter, crisis hotline.
Nope.
The maternity ward.
Nope.
Police officer.
Nope.
Lion tamer.
Nope.
Bounty hunter.
Nope.
Vampire hunter.
No.
What is it?
Child clown improviser. No. I was a terrible, terrible waitress at this fancy-ass restaurant called the International House of Pancakes.
That's fancy.
I mean,
it's
it is
international.
Yeah, it's got international
I
title.
definitely deserved to get fired.
What did you
do to get fired?
Oh my God, I only took the job because I had this big crush on this boy that had just dropped out of our high school, and then
He worked there?
Yep.
Oh.
No, he slept in the dumpster in the back.
He lost his license drag racing his roommate, so they both didn't have license, so I would go and pick him up.
No, he wasn't in a car. He was drag racing his roommate.
Yeah.
He rode on his back.
And then we would take bong rips. And also spent a lot of time, we figured out how to take the whipped cream caps off of the Ready Whip without it breaking the seal. And we'd do whippets in the freezer for like hours. And so I think I literally only got tips because people thought I was special needs. Like, they'd come up and be like, you guys want some juice? And we would. And I sometimes have to host on the weekend, and my boss would be like, I'm going to put a goddamn camera in that goddamn freezer because all the whipped cream would just like drip out of the bottles. But
hopefully it was whipped cream.
Yeah, I think it was. But we were so bad. They had this training video you had to watch on one of those like old school TV VCR connected things that you watch. As soon as the manager left, we would take it and put it in the smoking section because you still had smoking sections in those days, and watch What's Eating Gilbert Grape every single time and smoke cigarettes and not pay attention to our tables where they could see us openly, like just being jerks.
Nice.
So I got fired.
How old were you?
16.
11.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
16, you said?
I was 16.
Man, oh man. What were we talking about?
Getting your job.
Yes.
Oh, that was my What's Up, Yo.
Yeah, that was your What's Up, Yo.
Me getting fired.
Okay, well,
Sure,
what's up, yo? My What's Up, yo? Just a quick, saw Black Panther. It was really good. You should check it out. Probably one of the best 5 Marvel movies. There's been 19 of them, I think. Yeah, check out Black Panther. It's got a really good villain. Maybe the best villain of all of the movies. Pretty good action. It's sort of got like a cool James Bond vibe too, because Black Panther, his sister, is sort of like the Q type for their country. She's like
Wakanda?
The gadget. Yeah, she like invents all the gadgets and tech and cool stuff that's on like Black Panther's suit. Yeah, check it out. It's really good. I think it's still in theaters at this point. It's made like $1 trillion, so you could probably find it somewhere and watch it. Have either of you seen it yet?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
You should. You guys should see it. It's really good.
Shoot.
And it's not one of those movies, like, even though it's like the 18th or 19th Marvel movie, like, you don't need to have seen the other ones.
Yeah, because I'm just not generally a fan of like comic book movies.
Yeah, there's so many of them. Like, and I haven't seen all of them. Like, I haven't seen any of the Thor movies. I haven't watched any of the Iron Man movies. I do like Captain America. I've seen those. Black Panther I saw.
Wonder Woman.
That's not the same.
Oh.
That's not the same.
I saw Iron Man.
So, but Infinity, still not the same, Zazie. Still not the same. Infinity War's coming, and I don't think you need to have seen all of the previous 18 Marvel movies. Like, I think maybe Spider-Man is important to see.
Seen it.
That one you saw. Good. Wait, which one, though, did you see? Did you see the latest one?
I saw both had Tobey Maguire.
Nope. That's too old. Doesn't count.
Mother, father. I did watch, well, I know Wonder Woman doesn't count either, but I did watch a movie last night, actually, or 2 nights ago, about the women and men behind Wonder Woman.
Oh, that weird creepo with all the fetishes that created Wonder Woman?
Well, it turns out it was based on his, like, wives, and they were very, like, feminist lifestyle that were all, like, really the women were more in love with each other than the dude. Mm-hmm. It was very interesting.
What's that called?
Something.
It's a never-ending string of forgetting names, movies, everything here on the Penthouse Basements podcast.
See, you don't have to play games to have long, weird pauses.
Listeners, just Google that shit. It's really easy. Just go on Google.com.
Right, but like when we have long pauses of trying to remember stupid bullshit, that just makes us look bad as like regular humans. If we have long, boring pauses while we're playing improv games, that makes us look bad as improvisers.
That's a good point. But isn't life really improv, David?
The world is a stage, and I keep getting pelted with rotten fruit and vegetables wherever I go, no matter what. Okay, now edit. This will go in. So as we said, we're in a car on our way to a show. Pete, you want to go into what the show's all about that we're headed to?
It's at the Howard Community College,
Mm-hmm.
and it's called WIG, Washington Improv Group. That's the name of the overriding umbrella group, the militant wing of the improv scene.
Nice.
Is Howard Community College associated with Howard University?
No, it's Howard County.
So they didn't steal from their students?
No. They have nothing to do with the financial aid snafu. So, yeah, this is the second year that it's been going on. And we are featured prominently. Did you see the highlight reel from last year?
I
Sure did.
And especially Rachel. She's featured prominently.
Well, she's a great lady. She should be.
So this is their second year of doing it. Our second year of being there. They really loved their performance last year.
Downgraded for time, though, Pete.
No, that was my fault. I got mixed up with, because Matt from Highwood wrote me back for our show that we're having in April, and he told me 30 minutes, so I kind of inverted that whole. So it was actually me just confusing both things.
So we do have 20 minutes for tonight. And did we have 20 minutes last time? I thought we had more.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Well, I mean, I guess they still like us. I don't know. 20 minutes.
I literally just measured from like right there. I wish I had stayed.
We're going under a bridge. I couldn't see what bridge it was, but what metro stop was that?
So the closest one would have been Capitol South.
So you could have just jumped off the bridge.
Swam.
Pete doesn't have a moonroof or anything, but just jumped on top a la Black Panther.
He does have, though, a stretch limo with one of the hot tubs.
Oh, nice.
So
yes.
If I aim for that, I think I'd be all right.
Just waiting for it to warm up, and then I'm gonna get in. So, yeah, this is a show. It's all the way.
About 295 comes after this.
Columbia, Maryland. It's in. Is that right?
Yep, Columbia, Maryland. Patuxent Road. Little Patuxent Road.
Nice.
Howard County.
Howard County.
So, anything you're looking forward to tonight? On the eve of a show. This is the first time we've ever done anything like this. Record a podcast on the eve of a show right before we go on.
Yeah, we can't recap it.
I'm looking forward to the green room.
Mm-hmm.
A proper stage. Seeing all the other groups.
Yeah.
Seeing all the young people that are into the Utes doing improv. That's always
Now,
fun to see.
they're out for our blood, Pete. I don't want to see them.
We're essentially their grandparents. So.
Yeah. And they want to replace us. So
Right.
we don't want that to happen. Inexperienced they are.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a lot more. There's more of a theater improv feel to them than like the street improv we do. So
That's right. All of our suggestions involve the gutter.
right.
And heroin.
I remember it being fun.
Yeah, you didn't take the free classes they gave.
Nah.
That was really cool. It did make for a very long day of improv though, but I felt really warmed up when it was time for us to perform.
What did the classes entail?
So they started out with a huge fucking clap circle, but they insisted that not just clapping like we do, but looking someone dead in the eye.
I mean, we do that.
when you clap that. Then they did that other game where you like look at someone and nod your head and they move.
Mm-hmm.
And that was me. It was really interesting because there was people who had nothing. This was their first foray into improv, so a lot of them were like, didn't know what to do and were unsure about how to do some of the exercises, and other people were really experienced. So I think it was me, Ollie, Nick, and Rachel from the Penthouse Basements that was there.
Mm-hmm.
Ollie, new dad, shout out.
That's right. Ollie ejaculated sperm into his fiance's uterus, right?
Wait, they're married. They're married.
They're married?
They're
No,
married.
oh,
Get
that's
it right.
That's right. The marriage that no one got invited to.
Get it
I'm not
right,
bitter,
Pete.
but I'm just saying.
I mean, you're just missing out on dancing and free booze. I mean,
Jeff and Dave have been married for longer than that. How come they don't have a baby?
Well, you could offer up your
womb.
yeah.
If I could get one of those guys to fuck me just by having their baby, I'd
Really?
be down.
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
Yeah, that part from,
And we're back.
So, yeah, that.
Muscly.
And we're back! So that class that you mentioned, so you guys got it comped for free because we performed?
Yeah.
How much is it normally?
I think it was like $60.
That's bullshit.
No, it was.
No, I believe you. I'm saying that the price is bullshit.
No, it was a few hours, and they covered a lot of stuff, and there was some musical improv involved.
Mm-hmm.
But that was kind of so he said, so I want you to tell us a secret that you haven't told a lot of people.
I've murdered.
Tell it in a
3
song.
people.
Tell it in a song.
Yeah. So I did. So mine was about how I worked for this pizza place, and this guy used to pay us to go to people's construction site and like steal windows and stuff.
Whoa.
So that was the theme of my musical improv. My secret that I haven't told a lot of people.
Now everybody knows it.
Yeah.
Tens of people that listen to this will now know your secret. Was it like hoedown style or?
No, it was just like any style that you wanted. You just literally made up a song. I kind of did like a Mick Jagger type feel to it.
That's nice.
Hey you, my twin who was never born, 'cause I ate you in the womb. I made a tomb for you, my dead twin.
Do you really have a dead twin?
Yes.
You do?
No.
Wow.
I was played a part.
Oh.
It was a bit.
If only we could.
And I think Rachel's was about. It was
murder. She murdered.
It was something about
Murder.
eating ice cream and watching models and pointing out the ugly models. It was something like that. I have to ask her.
I mean, I'm sure everyone does that. That's no secret.
I have to ask her again.
She once pooped on the floor.
But Ollie had something. Ollie had
murder. He murdered.
It was like his college roommate hanging himself or something. His was pretty.
He caused it.
Yeah, his was pretty. Pretty intense.
But is that a secret, or is that just like
something
you don't
it was
talk
something
about?
You don't talk about a lot. That was
Gotcha.
the whole. So that was one of the exercises, and the other exercises was
jumping jacks.
2 people driving in a car, having a conversation.
Similar to this.
Right.
But there's 3 of us.
Right.
Although I only count as 5/8 of a person since I'm a woman.
That's
Although
that whole the compromise thing when we declared 5/8 of the people.
Well, that sounds. I mean, I don't know.
You're not a fan of classes?
No, not in general.
Really?
I would not. But I mean, if you think it was worth it, like, would you pay to take like whatever, like the sequel class or whatever? Or?
I was hoping they did it again. I don't know if I paid for it, but I've taken like paid improv classes before. I mean, some are good, some aren't so good, but you always kind of learn. You always kind of learn something.
What's the example of a bad one, Pete? It's $100 up front, and I want you to come to the warehouse district at 8 p.m., wait around, and we'll come and do the class, and then you go
Actually,
there.
the one that
and wait, and no one comes.
the one that North Coast, the hip hop improv group, the one that they taught. I didn't think that was that. Basically, because I can already like do that, so it was more of like an intro type class.
Nice.
But everyone was like fawning. I guess I was kind of like jealous of them too, so I was like kind of hating on them because they were like just getting so much.
I have a problem in a class when people are like go into it wanting to act and be the star, kind of, and like don't listen to any of the instructions or cooperate. They just. Have you ever been in one of those where it's like there's just one dude who's like trying to make jokes and not
They think they're overqualified.
Yeah, but
whatever.
also like just isn't getting it. I'm clearly doing a poor job explaining it.
No.
Just sitting there like making dick jokes and not like paying attention to the other person in their scene.
Yeah, like they want to be noticed by the teacher or something.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they'll make me a star, this teacher. But as you know, they teach because they can't do.
That's what they say. I wonder if there's a kite over there that looks like it may be being stuck, but apparently it's a kite festival today on the mall for Cherry Blossom.
Are we near the mall?
No, but maybe the kite got lost and now got stuck to this thing. Or that guy right there is flying it.
What guy? You see a guy?
I see a guy. There's a field.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it now.
Good stuff here.
And we're
Oh
back!
my God, the kite's on fire! No!
And we're back. Okay, so I figured out what we can do.
Like a ship.
I figured out what we can do in this episode rather than just meanderingly ramble for an hour. Us, the Penthouse Basements, we are going to create our own improv class.
All right.
Ooh, I like that
So,
idea.
okay, here's what's going to happen. I don't know. Howard University, they're in some trouble. As has been stated, they stole, what was it, like over $1 million?
Yeah, and it's like one particular person who actually...
Really?
Yeah, they were talking about it last night.
And
One person that works in financial aid that basically embezzled the vast majority of that money.
God, that's horrible. Well, they've come to us, the Penthouse Basement, said, like, we need help to rebrand our image. We want to...
This is a terrible idea.
We want to... we need help to rebrand our image. We want to be the People's University. So, the scandal's bad. Come in and do an improv class, Penthouse Basements. You guys are so beloved in D.C. as the #1 short form improv group in
Absolutely.
D.C.
Yes.
So come in.
Next to Port Chop Volcano.
No, that we are better than them. I've never seen them, but I am annoyed.
I mean, their name is tasty, but other than that, yeah.
Their name is associated with pornography.
Is it really?
Volcano, is that what that
Penthouse
is?
Basements?
Oh,
ours,
I thought you
yeah.
meant Pork Chop Volcano.
Porn Chop Volcano. Yeah, so they've come to us. Howard University, they want us to do an improv class. So, what do we do? What do you, Zazie, what do you think would make a good improv class?
Well, you got to start with some warm-ups. I think one thing I've done in workshops, a nice way to start is having everybody go around in a circle and like do the singing, and you have to save your partner so that right away everybody feels kind of vulnerable. Have you guys ever done that where like you start in the middle singing a song and everybody sings along until somebody else jumps in and takes their spot, so you take turns being in the middle of the circle?
Is this a known song or one that
Yeah.
you make up on the spot?
One, as soon as you walk out there, you try to think of one.
Yeah, I think they call it Hot Spot.
Yeah, hot spot. That's what it is, the hot spot.
Not to be
Okay.
confused with the G Spot.
Which is still trying to be found by men across the world.
So I used to live at 300 G Street for years, and we called it the G Spot. You guys have been in my G Spot?
I think you've said that on a podcast before.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I said in my G Spot, but yeah, we definitely had lots of jokes about trying to find it and did it really ever exist? Those kind of things.
So warm-ups. You want to have just warm-ups coming out the wazoo.
Well, just stuff to make sure that everybody's feeling. So much about it is like getting out of your own head, and which is hard to do. So, do doing something where everybody's kind of taking a risk just at the beginning evens the playing field. So,
I mean, you don't think that would like scare people off right off the bat? Like, I don't want to do this, and then they run away screaming.
If they do, then they probably shouldn't be at that workshop. I mean, I don't, because again, everybody's embarrassed and nervous, so it allows to be like, oh god, this sucks, this is hard for all of us, and you kind of realize that. And it teaches the lesson about, like, especially because you're supposed to sing along right away, it's more about we're all here to support each other.
We only want the cream of the crop in the Penthouse Basements Improv Club class.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think that's a good idea. What about you, Pete? Any specific warm-ups or anything you think that they should do that you have seen that would work?
I like the category memorizing game that we play. I think that's a good. And just start off with some word association. And maybe I would actually start out doing some actual trust falls, real trust falls to kind of basically explain what improv is you always got someone's following you go to catch them.
In addition to your $1,000 entrance fee,
right,
you need to sign this waiver,
right? That
because we're doing trust.
Someone
falls.
Doesn't catch you on the trust fall. That's really. It's either your fault for trusting that person or the other person's fault for not catching you. But it's not the Penthouse Basements' fault.
And we're going to take this to the extreme. So the building that we do this in is going to be 2 stories. And the trust fall is going to be they have to get up on the roof. And everybody else goes down on the ground. And they have to trust fall off the roof into our arms.
You know that's the famous Del Close story.
Glenn Close?
Yeah, Glenn Close. Del Close jumped off the 2nd story balcony because he said that the essence of improv is to be able to trust each other in a scene. And so he jumped off. They didn't catch him.
And he died.
No, and he did it. He went and did it again and broke his collarbone.
Nice.
But his point was, you have to have complete trust.
And he was so strung out on heroin, he felt none of that.
So strung
was he really?
Oh, yeah, he used to shoot heroin with John Belushi.
I always also like the Saturday Night Live related story of Del Close, how in the 80s he would go and try to teach the cast improv, and this was when Eddie Murphy was on there, and he would try to get Eddie Murphy to do stuff in the improv scenes, and Eddie was like, I don't need to learn this.
Yeah.
I'm 20 times better than this.
He's like, I'm saving the show. The show wouldn't be on
That's right.
if it wasn't for me right now, so thank you, Del Close, but I'm good.
Yeah. I'd rather do a scene with the Glenn Close than Del Close.
Should we, for our listeners who don't know categories, should we do a round?
Yeah.
All right.
And we can edit this out when it doesn't work. I mean, if.
So how do we play, Pete?
So you pick a category. Colors.
Okay.
So I would go red.
Yellow.
Blue.
Red. Yellow.
Blue. Alrighty, that's the game.
Yep. It works better when it's 11 people.
What was the game we did not so long ago where we had to remember our...
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do.
Oh.
Wait, that was it? Oh, yeah. Well, there's only 3 of us.
Right.
Doesn't really work.
Gotcha.
Then what else would I do? I would do some...
Kung Fu. Teach Kung Fu.
Birds in a car. Bees
I thought you were going to say birds and bees. Yes, we're going to teach you all about the birds and the bees, and that'll help you in improv.
I would actually probably do a beginning intro on the no bathing suit zone and what is respectful. What
is the no bathing suit zone?
Don't touch my crotch or my boobs.
Oh.
I mean, that's been broken, though, countless times.
If you wear a bathing suit, yeah, but only...
Well, what type of bathing suit? A one-piece or a bikini?
Good question.
Don't touch my intestinal area.
And once again, Pete, stop trying to lick my belly button.
I knew he was one of them.
Hey, that's not part of... If you're wearing a bikini, your belly button's not really the swimsuit area.
It's a one piece.
Oh, okay, then it is.
Yeah. Don't touch my meaty flank, Pete. Okay, so after we get through our intros, what would we cover?
Well, you didn't give your idea.
I mean, I think we should do the extreme trust fall.
Oh, right.
I think
Gotcha.
that would be... So, next, should we implement the crap method? Should that be our teaching method?
What's the crap method?
CRAP stands for conflict, relationship, action, and place. And if all those things are in the scene, it will be led to becoming an effective scene.
But isn't it CRAP? Because you also need a character?
Character,
or is that relationship?
I mean, it's part of relationship, because if you get the relationship of your characters, then that might lead to your character and vice versa. So I don't know. I guess one C leads to, one R.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, we just made this up, so it really doesn't matter. We're making it up as we go along. But I mean, I always say that if you don't have one or more of those things in a scene, like if the scene's funny, like it trumps crap,
Right.
Well, I did a workshop with Rachel.
We built a shelf.
And that's true. A birdhouse too.
Nice.
They were talking about how they really didn't like the UCB method of finding the game and like the pattern being the reason that makes what's funny.
Was this for long form or short form?
It was just a general, but it was called Burn Your Fear.
Uh-huh.
And the guy really hated UCB a lot.
What does UCB stand for?
Upright Citizens Brigade.
Ah, yes.
An invention of Amy Poehler and Matt Besser. Who else is...
That means he tried to get in and they rejected him. That's what that means. Because there's no reason why you would have that kind of animosity to them. They're funny.
Well, growling feels very specific that it's character, not... That makes it, not...
Yeah.
The game, but... I don't know.
The other thing on, and Del Close would argue that agreement is more important than conflict.
I disagree.
Because a lot of times conflict necessarily, you're basically going to have an argument. Because, if you're saying conflict, it's going to wind up being two people arguing about.
But conflict and denial is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think denial is more of a general,
known,
a general thing that could happen, whereas a conflict is more like something that's actually happening in the flow of the scene.
Right.
So, listen to us talking like we know what the hell we're talking about.
I did read Truth and Comedy.
Yeah,
who wrote that?
4 years ago. Del Close. Well, it was actually
about conflict.
Charna Halpern. How do you say her name? She wrote it, but
is he dead?
Yeah, he's been
Del
dead.
Oh yeah, he's fucking.
He's dead as fuck.
Yeah.
I think though, based on the crap method, we should then make our first longer game be improv layups. So the three-line
actually
scene.
do that in a class.
Yeah, the three-line
improv
scene.
layups.
Yeah, because that that's all about agreement.
Let's change the setup for the show tonight. Let's just do layups the whole time.
People would be like, "Boo! Get off the stage." I mean, they're gonna do that, but they do it even faster.
So, Pete, David, for our listeners, do you want to do a quick layup?
One thing I will say is, I don't know if you listened to the early days of this podcast, where we attempted to shoehorn in games. And the reason why we stopped doing it is because there was too much dead air. Now, I mean, this was before I learned how to edit, and Audacity makes things super idiot proof, so you can easily edit out long pauses of nothing. So I guess you're not going to thank the little people that helped you along the way? Yes. I would like to thank the creator of Audacity for making such an intuitive editing tool. Oh, and Zazzy for helping me learn it. But, yeah, we just kind of stopped doing it. And the people that edited the show previously, Jeremy and Nick, I guess they didn't edit out the, long pauses. But I guess, do you think editing out the long pauses, do you think that is going against the spirit of the game? Like, it's just better to not do it than, like...
Well, I think it depends on the, like... I think it depends on the game. So, if like, the pauses are because you're setting up stools or something, like, it's different. But, like, an improv layup, the idea is you wouldn't have long pauses, right?
Right. Well, I mean, you can always have, like, a long pause for whatever reason, I guess.
Unless it's...
Like these two canoes that are about to come crashing down off the roof of this car onto my hood.
Just like in The Omen.
I think they're kayaks.
Whatever. Canoes, kayaks.
What's the difference?
It's radio.
I almost died in a kayak. That's the difference.
I guess a canoe is open is all the way open, where a kayak has, like, seats cut out.
And you do the oars are different.
So these are kayaks.
Those are kayaks.
Oh, okay.
And I did, when I was living at the beach, my buddy was like a sports kayaker, which is more like surfing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I'll teach you how to do it. And you wear a skirt in it that holds you, and you pull the skirt if you tip so you can get out. Yeah. Well, I flipped. He let me go way too early, and I ended up being able to ride the wave and getting probably 50 yards away from him when the kayak flipped, which is when I realized I couldn't reach the pole. Yeah. So I was literally stuck straight down underwater. And by the time he got to me, people were running up from the shore to try to... It was scary. Yeah. So it's not a canoe. A canoe
is a kayak.
Yeah, right. A canoe.
It's a boat.
Is a lovely way to spend your afternoon with Boy Scouts. A kayak is a death trap.
Yeah, because you get kind of stuck in there.
Yep.
So, yeah. Just don't go do anything physical. You could die no matter what.
It's true.
Yeah. So.
And kids, be careful on the internet.
Back to our class.
Was that a roundabout way saying you don't want to do improv layups?
I mean, yes, that is exactly what I was trying to say. So we do improv layups. Pete, what do you think we should start by focusing on? Should we do the crap method with our students, or should we keep that as a Penthouse Basement trade secret and don't share that?
That's
with
the level 2 class. Right.
That's
there,
the level 2 class.
We say if you want to learn the Penthouse Basement way, you can pay an extra $800 for
the Penthouse Basement way.
What about? Do we talk about yes and?
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely talk about yes and as being the most. I would just do a whole bunch of yes and.
Yes and, trust, listen.
And also another variation is it's yes and, but it's oh yeah, I know.
Oh.
And you kind of add on that way.
That's a cool way.
You say something I can't believe Bobby's wearing that shirt. Yeah, I know. He wore it 8 straight days.
Yeah, I know, and it has disgusting pit stains in it.
Yeah, I know, and there's mustard and jizz all over the front of it.
Yeah, I know. Was he eating hot dogs while he masturbated?
Yeah, I know, because he's always watching porn.
Yeah, I know, because he's really a big purveyor. I think he is the nephew of Ron Jeremy.
Yeah, I know, and Ron Jeremy was over his house, totally naked last week.
Yeah, I know. Ron Jeremy's penis is as big as it looks. It's not 10 pounds heavier on TV. It is that big.
Yeah, I know. It's not mirrors or a David Blaine trick. It's huge.
Yeah, I know. I was worried that I would get my eye knocked out by it.
Yeah, that's how that works. That was really good.
Yeah.
So, okay, here's another thing. Should we pay big money to have a celebrity teacher, or should we do it ourselves?
Yes, we should have Howard University alum Puff Daddy.
He went to Howard?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah,
I would get P. Diddy.
We'll have P. Diddy teach the class.
He is a great improviser.
He actually did some on the Joaquin Phoenix I'm Still Here thing.
Mm-hmm.
There was a whole lot of improvising with P. Diddy and Joaquin Phoenix. That was pretty hilarious.
I never saw that.
Oh, that's one of the best.
Really?
That whole scene, because the whole thing is Joaquin Phoenix is making a rap, a rap album, and Puffy's supposed to be producing it. So he goes to Puffy with all these tracks and plays it for him, and so Joaquin thinks, oh, we're making an album. So Puffy listens to 2 or 3 tracks. He's like, yeah, these are pretty good. So he's like, all right, so we ready to record? And Puffy's like, oh no, you're not ready for that. you're like years away from like being able to like record anything with me. But it makes it seem like that's why the film crew is there, because like they're about to record an album. So like Joaquin is like, what do you mean? I thought we're supposed to be like, he's like, oh no, that's not happening. So they did a really good job of making it seem like that's why the camera crew was there, because they were supposed to make an album, but Puffy was actually saying, oh, you're years away from being able to do anything with me.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. And they tried their best to make it seem like it was a real documentary, but word got out that it was fake, so it kind of ruined some of the fizzle.
Yeah, wasn't he like acting weird on like David Letterman and stuff to try to make it seem like it was real? But,
yeah.
So we're trying to get P. Diddy. If we can't get P. Diddy, should we get like an actor or
the guy from Westworld? He also went to Howard.
Not Ed Helms. Ed.
Sharan.
What's his name? The cool guy.
Yeah.
Mr. Ed.
The guy, the man in black with the black hat. Is that who you're talking about?
Uh-huh.
Ed something. Jesus. He was like the coolest part of Westworld.
Yeah.
Ed Sullivan.
Really big show.
Yeah.
Here at Westworld.
Eddie Bauer.
Eddie Bauer.
Yeah, fashion icon.
Mr. Ed. Did I already say Mr. Ed?
Ed. God, I can't remember this guy's name.
He was also in Boardwalk Empire.
And he was in Apollo 13.
Oh, yeah.
This is horrible. This is the worst. I can't believe I can't remember
There was an African-American
this
person
guy's
in
name.
Apollo 13?
Mm-hmm.
No, but that's not who I'm talking about.
Oh. There's a Howard graduate that's not black?
No, he's black.
Wait, so we're not talking about the same person?
Who's
There
black?
we are.
Who's black in Apollo 13? That was all white dudes.
Yeah, it was
So
all
we
right.
are talking about two different people.
Yeah, we are. We've been talking about
I know
two
who you're
different
talking
people.
about
Yeah.
now. No, it's not him.
Do you remember his name, though?
No.
Nice. And we're back! Yes, what celebrity would you hire as our teacher if we couldn't get P. Diddy?
Jason Mantzoukas.
Jason, he's cool. He is good.
He's my favorite improviser.
He is good.
Although I've been listening to a lot of Thomas Middleditch lately. That dude is brilliant.
What's he in?
He's
Silicon Valley?
Yeah.
That's the main guy, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Also a lot of Verizon commercials.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's funny.
Lauren Lapkus.
He's
she's
kind
good.
of annoying in those Verizon
Get a woman in there.
commercials, though.
A lady.
Maybe we could get Amy Poehler. Maybe.
Kulop.
We'll have to raise our
Kulop Visak.
We'll have to raise our entrance fee to $2,000 a person if we want to get someone like Amy Poehler.
Yeah. I actually spent $100 to take a workshop with one of her students.
With one of Amy Poehler's students, Gardner's best friend.
Connor Ratliff,
Nice.
who is sometimes on Chris Gethard's show.
Hopefully the listeners know who these people are. I mean, I'm so bad with names. Like, I probably know who you're talking about from, like, their face. But, like, Chris Gethard, like, I'm not. Who the fuck is that?
Did you see that, what was the movie that came, Don't Think Twice? The improv movie?
Nah.
Oh.
Pete said not to watch that.
It's terrible.
I loved it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Ooh, we got a movie throwdown. Pete, why did you like that particular movie?
One, there was no one that could act.
The acting was bad.
Yeah, there was no one that was. I mean, I think what's his name, the main guy. He's like decent and like the little.
Keen.
No, well, he's not an actor.
Bill
But the other
Burr?
guy-
Is he
no,
in that movie?
No, the other
No.
guy.
Oh, Mike Birbiglia?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
what
think
I
he's
meant.
fine as like a storyteller and all that, but he doesn't have acting chops.
Did you like Sleepwalk with Me?
I love that. I thought that was great because that was about him.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was like not an actor, and they kind of like
What
sidestepped.
about Gillian Anderson? Or Gillian?
Oh, Scully was in that?
Or Gillian, what's her name? Gillian Michaels?
Nah,
The girl from...
Brett Michaels from Poison.
No, the girl from Community, and she's in a bunch of other stuff. Love.
Brie Larson.
The other one, the blonde, Gillian.
I don't know.
Gillian Jacobs. She's an actress.
Not a very. It needed a top level actor or an actress in it to kind of like draw you in. And I just thought they kind of like sidestepped a lot of stuff about like, because it was supposed to be that Mike Birbiglia was like
Birbiglia. How do you pronounce that fucker's name?
Birbiglia.
Birbiglia.
I know for a fact because we have mutual friends.
Birbiglia.
And when I saw Sleepwalk with Me, the guy like whispered into my ear about like, that's about my dad. That's his thing. That's my street where I grew up.
Nice.
Pretty cute.
And Laura from Thanksgiving 2007 was in that movie.
She was.
Really? Was she?
Yeah, like the opening scene where they pan around.
They do it end with a close-up on her face.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Did you get any money?
No.
Oh, that sucks. She was just an exposure.
Right.
Yeah, that's what every performer loves to get as payment, exposure, instead of actual money.
A northern exposure?
No one will get that reference. No one watched that show. So how will we end our class? So we're going to have a celebrity teacher. We're going to do some cool intro games. What else are we going to have in our class?
Could I take a step back to the celebrity?
Yes, go on.
We could tell people that I'm Maya Rudolph.
You have to like curl. I think if you curled up your hair, we could do that.
Put some freckles on.
Yeah, I got it. No problem.
Yeah.
Good. For the listeners, I look a lot like Maya Rudolph, I've been told.
That's right. So Google a picture of the Penthouse Basements. Look for Zazie and within any photos that you may see, and you just look for somebody that looks like Maya Rudolph, and that's her.
I actually look at pictures of her when I'm going to get my hair cut.
Nice. I want my hair to look like this.
Ending. Line games?
We do line games with the people. What if once... Listen, this is what I want to do. They're paying us exuberant amounts of money to be in this class. We're swaying them with a celebrity teacher. We're going to do the trust fall to force them to like trust us and like really become vulnerable without us being there to help them. I want this to become like a cult. So by the end of the class, I want them to be hungry for more. That, you know, we got to give these people more money. And this is going to be sort of similar to a Scientology thing, except it's masked of being a Penthouse Basements improv club class.
I love that idea. I actually, true story, after I took my first improv class, said I feel like I drank the Kool-Aid. Like this group of people, this theme, I never want to go back.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I'm down. I like money.
And we'll just keep like taking advantage of like stupid idiots.
I love taking advantage of stupid idiots.
Pete, what's your stance on taking advantage of stupid idiots?
No, I think
just not in a Harvey Weinstein way, like
You're the one of us that has the morals, Pete? I can't believe that. And we're back! Okay, so our class, I think we're going to turn it into some kind of Ponzi scheme. I mean, maybe we won't take their money. Maybe that's a little bit more nefarious.
We'll take the university's money.
We'll take the university's money, or maybe we'll...
Puff Daddy's money.
Puff Daddy's money. He's got plenty of money.
Other rich alums like Jada Pinkett. She also went to Howard.
Oh, yeah?
She's got a lot of money.
that guy from This Is Us in the show.
Oh, Sterling K. Brown. He went to Howard?
In the show he went to Howard.
Oh, boo!
That guy from Westworld that we...
Martin Luther King. Do you think we should get Martin Luther King?
He went to Howard?
Yes.
Everybody went to Howard.
Howard, and then...
Howard the Duck went to Howard.
He went to Howard, and Clark in Atlanta.
Nice.
Howard first masters.
All right, well...
Or vice versa.
Maybe we won't do money from the actual students. Maybe we'll just take, like, beer and food. Like, we'll be like, oh, you want us to continue after the entrance fee? You want us to continue having you in the class? Well, bring me a lasagna. How about that?
Okay.
Well, then does that mean we have to keep our day jobs? Because we just got fired.
I mean, if we get enough people, like, I'm expecting, like, I don't know how intimate your normal improv classes are, but I want to have it at least a 50-person improv class.
Yeah, I think that might be a lot.
$2,000 a pop.
Yeah.
We're getting like 100K, 100 G's.
That would be interesting, just as an experiment, to charge like an outrageous amount of money for an improv class.
Yeah.
Just to see what people think. Oh, this must be a fucking good class.
Yeah.
If they're charging $4,000 for 1 3-hour session, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
I'd pay it. Seems like a good investment.
See, you're already brainwashed. We don't.
Yeah, totally. Also, I just realized, going back to the celebrity, I can't get over it. Pete's a celebrity. He's been on TV shows.
Yeah, I've been on Who the Bleep Did I Marry?
That's right, yeah.
And,
talked about before.
Bride Killer for half a second.
Which was the one you were a cop in?
That was Bride Killer.
That was
where
Bride Killer,
literally
okay.
walked across the screen. I had to like pause it to see myself.
That's funny. And you have an IMDb page.
Yeah.
And we're so popular, all of us, that you just have to talk to a remote and you can find us on YouTube.
Although, don't talk to your remote around any kind of a medical doctor or anything, or they'll lock you up.
Or a toaster oven.
He's talking to inanimate objects again. Take him to the mental asylum. No, I swear, you talk to your remote. It's the wave of the future. Nah, put them in the brig, boys. Put them in the brig. All right. Well, sign up for
That would be a good Black Mirror episode where someone goes back. You know what I mean? Someone from this time period goes back like 15 years and is like talking to Alexa, and everyone's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "No, there's this device that you talk to. You ask it questions," and they put him in an insane asylum because this person's actually from the future.
Like the guy who murdered baby Hitler?
Yeah, just like that.
Okay, got
Would
it.
you kill baby Hitler?
No,
No.
probably not. Because, like, if you're doing that, who knows? I mean, there could be another route could be because that's going on the whole multiverse theory. So maybe if I'm having the opportunity to go back to kill baby Hitler, maybe there's also opportunities for baby Hitler to have a different path.
Alrighty. Well, sign up for the Penthouse Basements class, improv class coming soon. Sign up for the improv class.
Leave a comment on how much you pay for it.
Yeah. Sign up for the Penthouse Basements improv class. It's going to be dynamite. Everybody's going to be clamoring for it. Okay. Episode 34, part 2. We have an addition in the car. Let's redo a roll call. Who am I here with in Pete's car? Who's here?
We picked up a hitchhiker.
We did. Who's here?
This is Dave. I T-1000 my way, clinging to the back of Pete's car.
On a skateboard.
That's right.
Also,
Back to the future style.
Also here with
Zazie.
Your Uber pool driver, Pete.
and your fearless host, David Lamison. We have just come from the show that was aforementioned in the first half of the podcast. And now we're going to talk about it. This is like the first time we've ever done something like this where we've recorded something before a show and now we're doing live reactions. So, let's go over how we think everything went. Dave, we'll start with you. What are your initial impressions of what just happened tonight?
I thought it was a solid show. I heard from someone in the audience who actually saw the whole show that we were the strongest troupe. I think we had some excellent laughs.
Guffaws, maybe.
Guffaws, if you will.
Yucks.
It was not our best show, but I will say that the audience itself was maybe 50% full. So that may have limited our ability to draw laughs. But I think I was very happy with it, and I think they were very happy with it.
I would say someone used the term healthy audience at the beginning, and if that was my doctor, I would be scared. Zazie, what about you? Your initial impressions of the show?
I felt really great about it. I'm a little worried that I wasn't loud enough. We'll see. But I definitely laughed a lot at other people's performances. I felt good about it. I'd give it a solid B.
Solid B. Pete.
For butt.
Pete. I would concur. Pete, what about you?
I thought it was solid. Maybe C+, B-.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was our best. Well, though we haven't done it in a while, Three-Headed Expert, I thought
Oh, yeah.
we got a lot of laughs.
There were some strong games
We got a
in
lot of
that
laughs from that.
show. What about the venue? Now, there was an issue with the place where we did the show, the actual performance area. Large open space. I don't know what they were thinking, like, this is where we're going to have our stage. There's a super high ceiling. The acoustics are fucking terrible. There's no back wall. I don't know why that is. Like, it just doesn't make much sense. Dave, what did you think of that area, the performance area?
That is the performance area that we had last year when I think we, for whatever reason, had a better show.
Better show. I mean, I sorry to cut you off. I think that there are some elements from our show tonight that were maybe better. I think overall last year was good. I just think this crowd was filled with not as many people as last year, and also we saw people, like, literally, like, students that were just waiting around for their mom and dad to come fucking pick them up for, like, Easter break. That's what it seemed like.
You're right that the crowd can make or break an improv show. But I think this one gave us lots to work with. We had some scenes that went incredibly well. And the audience was totally with us several times during our set, including at the very end. I think they loved Irish Drinking Song.
Yes.
I do wish there were more people. There were a lot of empty chairs.
A lot of empty chairs.
But
not a healthy audience, Dave.
Easter weekend probably wasn't the best time to do it either. Like, do they do it on spring break every year?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
we
last
did perform
year.
on a Saturday last year.
I want to say it
But
was
was
later.
it spring
though.
break?
Probably not. I mean, this is.
I
I
think it was
think
in
this
May
is
last year. For some reason.
commuter college, so in spring break, people are not on campus. So they're depending on, I guess, the community to come on.
Gotcha.
Yeah, well, they didn't deliver. Maybe they were looking for eggs or something.
Could I say one thing in their defense?
Oh, go on.
It should be a larger stage, but I'm guessing that the curtain was there instead of a wall so that they could have a backstage area. Like, it doesn't seem like they only do improv there. They probably do plays as well.
Yeah.
Normally, I would agree with you, except they said that there's a drop-off.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's weird that they put it all the way at the back of the stage.
Yeah.
Why not give a little room so that we don't have to worry about falling off?
We want to fool our performers. That's what we want to do. And maybe it's like a whole scheme where, like, if somebody gets hurt, they can, like, sue the school and, like, get millions of dollars.
Oh, I thought you were talking about us specifically.
No, they're going to use
that
us.
was their line of thinking.
No,
Gotcha.
yeah, that is their line of thinking. They're going to use us. Pete, what do you think of that performance area?
I thought it was fun. I mean, you know what I mean? There's really no ideal situation for an improv performance. There is really
Well,
no.
I mean, there's a few things that are ideal.
Full audience.
No, I mean, you still have to, you know what I mean? You got to do it. You got to do it wherever you're doing it. That's my philosophy.
That is what she said also.
You got to do it wherever you're doing it. It could be in the back seat. It could be out on the blanket in the grass.
Can I point
Do it
out?
where you got to do it.
Certainly not in my neighbor's yard.
At least that's what the judge told me.
We have performed at the DC Arts Center when it was leaking water.
Yes,
into
I
the
remember
venue.
that. We still had a great show.
We have performed.
At the pinch after a punk rock band kicks out half the drywall inside and there's a flood.
Yes. So, I mean, as an amateur improv troupe, I don't know that we can be too picky as far as this venue does not meet our quality standards. If you want us to perform, you'll have to deliver better.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's not like we got paid or anything, so, you know.
But you do have a point. I mean, we do go out of our way to come to this venue. It's well outside of DC, and it takes up quite a bit of time on a Saturday night. So that'll be something to think about for next year.
We got free trail mix and
Free
dollar
trail
beers.
mix,
Yeah.
I don't know, Pete. What was your... So, like, what do they tell you like when they recruited you for this event? Like, what did they say to like entice you to wet your whistle? They're like, Pete, we got to get to Penthouse Basements. What do they say to you?
I don't know how she found me last year. I don't know did she reach out? I really have no idea how. I think
like,
somebody came across the Facebook page.
These people look gullible.
Yeah.
Was it Grindr, Pete? You can just
It was Grindr, yeah. Okay, I'm having sex with her. If it wasn't evident, she is the 54-year-old I was telling you about.
She's a silver fox, dude. I'd be down for it.
She is. Anderson Cooper has nothing on her. Oh, man.
No, I mean, I think it's... I'm really gravitated more to the acting side of improv.
Mm-hmm.
So just to see it, where because that's where they're, like, coming from and stuff. Like, building characters, people playing with accents and stuff, playing inanimate objects and everything.
Yeah.
So I mean, I much prefer this type of setting than say like the Pinch.
Well, I mean,
but I think the Highwood for me is the best
really?
like setup. I think this might be a little too extreme on setup for like a play or something. But I think Highwood is like the best size and scope, and still having a stage kind of feel and like a seating type of situation.
I mean, like, I guess it really doesn't matter. Like, I am happy if we have a good show, like in my mind, but we don't get a lot of laughs. If I feel as if we went out there and did the best we could with the material and stuff, and like put our best foot forward, like I feel like we did tonight. Mm-hmm. We just didn't have a good crowd, and there were other forces against us, like the venue and other stuff. Like, those are things that we can't really control. So, I don't know. I can't really put it into words. Whatever.
But I thought we did some unusually good things. Like, I thought we had like a real dramatic situation with during Switch. Mm-hmm. With Jeremy and Nick that we usually kind of shy away from because it's not necessarily funny. Mm-hmm. But I think that was like the most dramatic, connected thing I've seen any of us do.
What are you referring to?
The Switch scene with Nick and Jeremy.
I remember it. I'm just trying to think of what was dramatic.
Where there was like I forget exactly what it was, but like it was something about their relationship.
Laser kittens?
No, that was Twin Pillars.
Oh, right. Never mind. Never mind.
But it was really dramatic, and we kind of like, I think in the past we've been like, oh, it needs to be funny, but like they both committed to them. Both Jeremy and Nick committed to the fact like, oh, this is really dramatic and this is really connected, so let's go with this.
Nick is really good at that, I feel like.
Yeah, and I think that, Jeremy's ability to connect with the audience mm-hmm. was like so good in Three-Headed Expert, mm-hmm. and you guys did like such a good job of like engaging with everybody, like answering the random questions that you got. Mm-hmm. That our last two games were like among the best we've ever done, I think.
Yeah.
Dave?
There was a debate before the show about if somebody were to walk on to the alphabet game, would they have to still do their lines in the sequence of the alphabet? And we sort of landed on they probably shouldn't talk at all.
I thought that worked great, too, with you coming on as the...
And so I came on as sort of a silent, grouching father figure.
Uh-huh.
And it worked brilliantly, I think.
Yeah, I think you communicated it like so well without really saying anything verbal, like what you did.
Nonverbal communication. Yeah. Dave.
People were like, it's going to be so weird if you're like a human and you walk out and you don't say anything, but it worked out fine.
Yeah.
So overall, I would say it was an average show, but there were things out of our control that couldn't be helped.
I was surprised that I felt like it was going to be a lot more community, like we were going to be talking to the other improv troops.
No,
we were on stage and answered questions.
Did you guys read that James Lipton was a pimp?
What?
I did not read that.
Yeah, like in college,
Your own inside the actor studio fan fiction does not count. It's fake news.
That's true. I'm Googling it. Go on. Sorry. Don't mind me. Oh, I can't.
We're just fact checking. So final impressions. I would say, it was fine. Whatever. We're good.
I think we did well. I know that sometimes we'll judge how well we did in a show by how much the audience laughed or how loud the audience laughed. And in this case, there was not enough audience to do that.
I can walk away from tonight knowing that we did as well as we could.
We did well.
We did well, yes.
It's kind of like the audience is another member.
Yeah.
A fleshy member.
The fifth Beatle of the Penthouse Basements.
The Pete Best of the Penthouse Basements. All right.
My pinball friend said we were the best group by far.
Yeah. He doesn't owe you money or anything?
Actually, I'm kind of surprised that he showed up because we were playing in a tournament and I accidentally played his ball. So I got disqualified.
And you played pinball.
Yeah. and I got disqualified. But that's happened to me where I've been on the other end of the equation and I've let it slide and just said whatever. Mm-hmm. But he didn't. So I was kind of pissed at him for a few weeks because I thought, he should have been oh, you obviously were going to beat me. You were up by so much. So,
yeah.
But he didn't. So I think I guilted him into coming tonight.
Honestly, I feel like not everybody is open to you as having their balls played with.
That's true.
How much were the tickets for this show?
Was it $11?
$11. And all that goes to, what's her name? On her ivory tower.
Yeah.
She gets another gold-plated back scratcher. Sue, yeah.
Well, she gives it back to me after sex. So.
All right. Well, that was our show. That was our show reaction.
I'm just
to our
joking,
show.
Sue. If you're listening to this, I love you.
She's not listening. She doesn't like
us on Facebook.
She might follow. She might actually.
She doesn't like it when you use the L word, Pete. It ruins the evening.
L word, labia.
Oh.
What's
Love.
the L word?
Love.
Oh.
Jesus. All right. Dave, any parting words?
Is that the extent of the podcast?
Hey, it's NASA.
I mean, I guess we can keep talking. What do you? Did you see Black Panther, Dave?
Not yet.
No. Go on.
Dave didn't do his what's up, yo?
Okay, well, I'm gonna try to seamlessly edit this into the start of the podcast. So, Dave, what's up, yo?
So, I joined a book club.
Yeah.
And the book that we just finished was...
Communist Manifesto.
The theme of our month was banned books. And this particular book had been banned at prisons in North Carolina and Florida. It was called The New Jim Crow.
Mm-hmm.
The thesis is that mass incarceration of black men for drug crimes is basically a new version of the Jim Crow South when they passed a bunch of racially discriminatory laws to deny black people equal access to the laws and everything. And so what they said was that once you become a felon, and basically the entire system is kind of designed to push black men into, getting stopped and frisked and searched and pleading guilty to felony drug crimes. And so once you become a felon, you can't vote, you lose your subsidized government housing, you can't get a job, you can't serve on a jury, and it's like all of the same things that black people were denied in the Jim Crow South.
Did you read it?
I did read it.
I did too. I really actually found that book fascinating.
Oh, yeah. It makes a compelling case that there's a lot of reforms needed in the criminal justice system.
Oh, yeah. One of the biggest prisons in Louisiana is Angola Prison, and it used to be a former slave plantation, and they basically converted the old slave housing into cells.
Wow.
and they still have chain gangs, and it's like one of the most notorious prisons in the United States.
It has some really compelling statistics. It's something like 3 out of 4 black men in D.C. can expect to serve time at some point in their lives.
Jesus. That's insane.
Yeah.
On a different note, what's up, yo? I forgot to say, which is a big one, is if we have time, I'm gonna write Dave one of the biggest checks give him one of the biggest checks I've ever written in my life tonight. And
why is that?
It isn't for his hot bod.
She couldn't afford that.
His wonderful husband helped me find a new home.
Ooh,
and I got it.
Nice.
He
What?
works at deals. I will be a homeowner by our next podcast.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Is there an improv space?
No, I was actually thinking while you were talking, or while we've been talking, that the last weekend of April we should have a show at my house when it's empty and like a party.
Yeah.
Ooh, party house.
Yeah, free beer.
Free beer.
And this is your place. You don't have no roommates or nothing.
So that's why I was thinking last weekend, because my other roommate moves out on April 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd have to move the next day, which is just shitty, but maybe if I moved ahead of time, then I could have it all cleared out already. Just a thought.
So you're proposing to have a show in your empty old house or your empty new house?
Empty old house.
Empty old house.
My new house is 480 square feet of luxury.
Okay.
It probably won't have a big party.
Alright. But it happens to be like around the corner from my place.
Mm-hmm.
Right around the corner.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which makes for an amazing commute for you to and from improv practices if your place does not have a space for it.
I'm excited to stop by all the time, unannounced. Just drop in.
Hey,
That's
got any
great.
pork chops, Dave?
Like Kramer. Should be like Kramer.
Nice. Yeah.
My mom can send you on errands. Check up on Dave. I haven't heard from him.
That sounds like something my mom would do to you. No, but it does have a really nice rooftop.
Ooh, roof deck.
And it's on a residential street, but it's taller, so you can see the Capitol and Washington Monument and such.
Ooh, fireworks.
Good place
Yeah.
for 4th of July
It was
fireworks.
actually in the home description. Good place to
Yeah.
see the 4th of July fireworks.
Nice.
Nice. Which is the day after my birthday.
Oh.
So let's calculate back 9 months. From July 3rd is what, September 3rd?
That's when they were conceived, yes.
It was a Labor Day baby.
Yep.
Yeah.
You little jokester.
Wow.
And fun fact, I was born in a taxi.
Really?
Yep. My mother was out dancing, and my father was tripping on LSD, which is
when
kind of
the,
fitting for my.
This is when the driver switches over to the second rate of fares.
Yeah, pregnancy. Yeah. It's like an extra passenger. You have to.
All right. So which fee? That's a $15 fee. All right, put that on there.
And she was only in labor for 33 minutes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
See, I heard that usually takes much longer. You see on TV, it's like you hear a splash and a woman's like, "My water broke," but it's actually like a slow trickle that happens for a long time, and then there's like hours of labor.
No, all her. She's had 3 kids. All of them were like in under an hour.
My cousin, like when the water broke, she said it was like the worst pain ever. But I'll tell you guys, she was in labor for almost 48 hours. I was there for the whole thing. That shit gets tribal.
Oh, yeah.
So gross. And the placenta's like bigger than a liver.
Ooh.
And it just like plops on the floor. Ugh. So I'm sure hopefully she's not listening to this podcast.
Don't some people eat the placenta?
Yeah, they
Yes.
freeze them. And,
I know
keep
people
them in the
who
freezer
have.
and like.
You can cook it,
With some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
fry it, and ground it into a powder.
Snort it like Coke.
It's good for your hair.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Nice glossy coat.
Huh.
Oh god.
I don't
Is
really...
nobody gonna make jokes about Pete's mom's vagina?
Have you seen Pete's mom's vagina?
I haven't, but she had
What
3 kids
if you-
in like 45
Yeah,
minutes.
it's like a water slide. It's like.
Yeah, it's a vagina, not a clown car.
Well, she said she was like super active, even like I said that night with me.
I bet she was.
Essentially,
3 babies in less time than it took to screen the Emoji Movie.
She was either dancing or bowling, like, even the night before.
What if she would have been like bowling and you would have fallen out of her vagina and you would have rolled down and gotten a strike?
Cool, yeah.
That would have been great.
Those slippery floors. I can't believe they let a woman 9 months pregnant, or judging by Pete, 6 months pregnant, bowl.
Oh, this was the 70s. Come on.
Okay.
Like, people didn't
This is
care about
1970.
that.
This one, like, women still smoked when they were pregnant.
Does anybody remember that all he took his about to have a baby wife to go throw axes at a wall? And he said that, like, axes were going by her. Like,
No, when was this?
there's apparently some bar up in Petworth now that you can throw axes while you're drinking. And he said that, like, where you open the door to the bathroom is only, like, 5 feet from one of the targets. And he had all these pictures of Rachel Prego throwing axes.
Rachel was Prego?
Not Rachel in the improv troupe.
Oh.
Rachel Penis on.
Penis on?
What was it that you said her last name was?
No, that's a different Rachel altogether.
Oh.
That's the third Rachel from the Fat American Vampire.
So many
my
Rachels.
future wife
Oh, gotcha.
from
Sorry.
Nepal.
I thought you said it was Ollie's wife.
No, her name is Rachel too. So we have 3 Rachels now.
So many Rachels.
So, the feature segment, Dave, the feature segment that we did in part 1 of the podcast was we did a Penthouse Basements improv class. We discussed what would entail in the curriculum and stuff. So I'm going to ask you, Dave, what would you want to be part of what we do for our students in a Penthouse Basements Improv Club class?
Well, lesson 1 would be synergy. Getting on the same wavelength with your fellow improv troupe members. And the first lesson would be the clap. So we always start our improv troupe by passing around the clap, which is not as dirty as it sounds.
No.
But getting in sync with your improv members is very important. Second lesson would be just saying the first thing that comes to mind and doing the first thing that comes to mind.
Jerking off.
Dick hole.
All right, I'll have to see you two after class. Lesson 3 is listening.
What?
Yeah. Because you have to listen in improv to do it well. You have to listen and react, and simply by reacting to what somebody says or does can be funny without even trying to be funny.
What celebrity would you want us to pay big money for to teach the class?
A celebrity who's really good at improv. You know who I like is Martin Short.
He came up before.
Is that right?
Yep. Oh, wait, no. That was the conversation I had with somebody else today.
That was another black guy we were talking about.
No, Martin Short.
Martin Short's not black.
I was thinking of Martin Lawrence.
But also, I feel
tall.
like one of the caveats that you didn't fill Dave in on in
And
this
this is
conversation.
at Howard
We're
University.
teaching this improv class at Howard University.
Oh, yeah, they came to us after the scandal.
So-
yeah.
Pete did an impressive job of naming Howard graduates.
Puff Daddy,
Jada
Howard
Pinkett
graduate,
Smith.
Jada Pinkett Smith, the guy from Westworld.
I remember, well, at least I remembered Martin Luther King, but he's got a pretty full Rolodex.
He's got a full Rolodex.
I mean, and then we were like, well, if it wasn't a Howard University staff member, maybe we'd get like Amy Poehler or, somebody.
I think she's free now.
Maya Rudolph also, I think, came up.
Or, I said that I could tell people I'm just Maya Rudolph.
That's right.
Paint some freckles on Zazie.
We'd be able to fool them.
My fake ID in college was a biracial person.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Ashley Davis, Florida.
Wow.
Sorry, Dave. Who would be your person? Still sticking to Marty Short?
Yeah.
He's good.
He's very good.
He was an oft-overlooked Saturday Night Live cast member when they did the All-Star cast in the 80s.
Bill Hader was just interviewed on Mark Maron, and he said that Martin Short was the most talented improviser he's ever worked with.
I'm not surprised. And he does this thing with his voice where he picks up and he slows down.
Very good in Three Amigos.
And Captain Ron, that was a real hired him.
In his short-lived TV show,
What was that called?
where he was in the fat suit.
Oh, Tommy Glick?
Yeah.
where he
Jiminy Glick.
interviewed-
Yeah,
Jiminy Glick, that's
yeah.
it,
He
yeah.
interviewed people.
Yeah.
He also was in the very short-lived and highly disappointing Mulaney, John Mulaney sitcom.
Yeah.
I was really expecting a lot more out of that. But yeah, he said that Bill Hader like threw something at him where it was an improv show and said like, "We didn't expect you to be wearing so much makeup, Mr. Short." But he said, "Oh, it's just street stuff." Like, didn't even think about it. Didn't know it was coming. Like, I don't know. Worth listening. When you finish all of our podcasts, you can go ahead and check out that very little known podcast, WTF.
I guess it is like he interviewed Obama. Didn't he get Lorne Michaels also?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing well for
He's done
himself.
some great interviews. I actually saw him live, like, sort of a behind the scene at the Now Hear This podcast festival.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about how the producer on his show, who's his dear friend, that he really risked everything to leave the news radio place they were working before to work on this endeavor with him.
Yeah.
And Mark Maron broke down in tears as he was explaining it, saying how, how much it's impacted his life to have that kind of support.
Oh.
It was really cool. And then I got my picture taken with him and my badge signed.
Sweet.
Nice.
Check it out. It's on Facebook.
I met Jordan Klepper. Did you all see that on Facebook?
Oh yeah. Did you meet him at the rally?
No, well, the night before the rally, he did what I had been told was going to be a taping of his TV show at the museum. It turns out it was just like a James Lipton type interview at the museum. But I did. There was like a chance for audience Q&A, and I asked him, did he have anything clever for us, those of us who were writing protest signs for the March on Washington? Is there a clever slogan we can steal, sir? And I honestly expected better from an improv guy like him. He said, guns don't kill people, I kill people.
Like, was he in character though?
No, this was just him. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to use that one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so this reminds me. So the March on Washington for gun safety that just took place.
March for Our Lives.
March for Our Lives.
Not to be
yes.
confused for the March for Life, which is something else.
Right. So there was a little social media fake news that took place.
Fake news is all fake news. Everything.
And I'm glad that we have a JR's insider, Dave Johnston, here to finally clear the air. There was a rumor that was going around that Cher was at JR's the day of the march. Now, Dave, can you confirm that this was false?
Cher was in D.C. that day. She was photographed early in the morning at the marching grounds.
Yes.
But she did not actually go to JR's bar, is my understanding. The owner there kept the place open all day rather than go down to the rally grounds. And he posted on Facebook, "Oh my God, you guys, Cher is here," just because everybody had left the bar and he was lonely.
Wow.
Isn't that's very disingenuous.
It is, but I think he quickly copped to the falsehood.
Zazie, if you owned a bar, who would you say, what celebrity would you say was there to, like, drum up business?
Susan
She's been dead for 125 years.
Right. Intriguing, right?
We have a Ouija board in back.
No, I'm just kidding. Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby.
You would invite Bill Cosby to a place where you serve alcohol?
Actually, I have a really great video that I feel like will be historic of them, like, painting over Bill Cosby at Ben's Chili Bowl.
Yes.
Oh, did they do that?
Yes.
And at first I was like, oh,
Obama.
They put well, at
John
first
Wall.
I looked at it and I was like, oh, they just put all
Really?
the other famous African Americans, leaders, or not leaders, but high profile people that have dined here. And then I was looking at it, I was like, see, there's the Obamas, and there's Prince. Oh, Prince came here? Did Prince came here? Then I was like, and there's Martin Luther King. Oh, and there's the what's her name? Underground Railroad.
Harriet Tubman.
Harriet Tubman. Okay, maybe it's just black people that aren't not have died there. So it's just a bunch of people on the mural. Is the point.
I mean, it's cool if they put John Wall there,
I
but
think they want to. For some reason, I'm thinking
John Wall?
the basketball player,
Washington
yeah.
Wizards.
Did they?
For some reason, I'm thinking.
I thought for sure it would have been Obama.
Obama's
Like,
on
that's-
there. Obama.
Oh,
and
was he
Michelle.
already on there?
Obama and Michelle. They redid the whole mural.
I mean, you have to when
Yeah.
like Cosby's like prominent.
Yeah. So I don't want to give away too much information, but my therapist is married to the owner of Ben's Chili Bowl, and I go to Ben's Chili Bowl every other week upstairs because that's where her office is.
Wow.
This little side note.
Do you get free chili with your therapy session?
I don't know if
Free
she
bowl of
knows that
chili.
I know. I Googled her like obsessively, and the only thing I could find online was her in an article with her husband.
Wait a minute.
I think
Her
she
office-
knows
Hold
is
on.
above.
Her office is right above the world famous Ben's Chili Bowl restaurant,
Uh-huh.
and you think that she thinks that you have no idea that she has a connection to the Ben's Chili Bowl restaurant.
Well, it's weird how it's set up. It's like this little door in between Ben's Chili Bowl and
Ben's next door.
Ben's next door. There is a door. And you go in and like up the stairs, and the first level is a Ben's Chili Bowl, like, what's the word? Paraphernalia. What you buy when you're a tourist.
Oh, like a gift shop.
Yeah, souvenirs, yes. And then there's another set of stairs, and then it's just like you open the door and there's offices. So I think the other office is for Ben's Chili Bowl, though. So
You have to ask her if it's true that Ben's chili is just Hormel with some spices in it.
Secret hobo spices.
That's what I hear.
I definitely see them because I get the vegetarian order. Just dumping some Morningstar hot dogs up there, but they're not doing anything fancy with that.
I mean, they wouldn't make the hot dogs themselves. That would just be too weird.
But it's the original half smoke.
They sell Ben's Chili Bowl brand half smokes at Costco now.
Yeah.
So that would presume that they are making them.
I
It's a
guess
shame
so,
if the
yeah.
world famous chili is Hormel out of a can.
But a good plug for Hormel, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not above food in a can.
I know. I mean, once the bombs fall, that's all we're gonna be eating.
Yep.
Food out of a can.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's a great food in a can?
Alpo.
French cut green beans. I'm a vegetarian.
Oh. French cut what?
Green beans,
Huh.
salty, nice consistency.
They really love Jerry Lewis, also.
French cut green beans?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're back.
What else can you eat out of a can?
I would invite Beyonce. I would say Beyonce.
Oh, that's right. When you mentioned Beyonce, that's a good choice to come to your made-up bar.
Yeah. And I would say someone bitter in the face. What? That's what happened. You didn't hear about that?
No.
Someone that bit Beyonce at a party, and they're trying to figure out who it is, and they've narrowed it down to Jennifer Lawrence, Lena Dunham, and Shania Latham.
I bet it was Lena Dunham.
Yeah, most people
She
are saying
sucks.
she's most likely to.
She sucks.
She's most likely to bite someone.
I would maybe.
Did this just happen?
No, it happened in December because, what is his name?
Did Beyonce not know who bit her?
Oh, she knows, but she doesn't want to say who it was. But Donald Glover, who wrote a spec script for Deadpool.
The cartoon. They were going to do a cartoon. Yeah.
He wrote about it, and there's an episode where he writes about it, because he was at that party, apparently.
Man.
So it's like a big, and they're actually taking, like, there's this place in England that takes bets on pretty much anything, so they have odds on who it is, and it's Jennifer Lawrence is like the most likely. She's at like 4-1 odds.
She's feisty.
When you mentioned Beyonce, you reminded me, it was either NPR or some other radio station. They had the poll for who they were going to replace Bill Cosby with on the Ben's Chili Bowl wall. And people voted on it. And I guess John Wall won, if he's the guy that's up there now. But yeah, you just reminded me of that.
It's Obama.
It's Obama.
No,
I mean, it should have been.
It's like 37 people on the wall, truly. Like, there's a bunch of different...
Maybe they just, like, took all the votes, all the people that got, like, a lot of votes, and were like, yeah, we'll just put them all up there.
Because Harriet Tubman seemed just like a strange choice to me.
I mean, she's going to be on the $10 bill. That's coming. I mean, I mean, didn't they vote on that?
I don't know. Trump might squash it.
Man.
You're not having Harriet Tubman.
He's the worst.
Bill.
Trump's the worst.
I'm going to put myself...
and put my beautiful wife, daughter, Ivanka on there.
Time to go to Mar-a-Lago.
You guys aren't Trump supporters?
I mean, we are white males, but no, we're not Trump supporters.
No, we're not Roseanne Barr. Did anyone watch it?
The new Roseanne?
Yeah.
No.
Pete?
No, I'm curious. I do want to.
Dave?
See it.
I didn't see it, but it's created the weirdest uproar, divisive thing in the gay community.
Really?
Where, half of people are like, we love Roseanne. She had one of the first sitcoms to have a gay character.
Wow.
And the other half are like, she voted for Trump. She can burn in hell. I'm not watching her funny show.
Was Jackie gay?
I believe Jackie was gay or somebody else.
Her mother was gay. Well, like that whole dream sequence thing is. They basically said they just ignored the whole dream sequence thing.
The stupid ending.
Because they said it starts with Dan is like in bed and she thinks he's dead, but he's like has like one of those masks. What's that mask you have on?
CPAP.
Yeah, he has that on. And he like makes some crack like, oh, everyone thinks I'm dead. Why does everyone think I'm dead? But he's actually alive. So it's almost like a multiverse type thing where like none of that actually existed.
In the Roseanne canon.
Right.
Such a thing.
It's just like the Marvel movie.
PJ's going to write a book on the physics of the Roseanne show.
The physics of Tom Arnold and Roseanne
Better
Barr.
not be Roseanne nerds out there. They're like, excuse me, in episode 7A, it was clearly...
There's that for like every genre of anything.
Oh, yeah.
But also, maybe Kylie Jenner. Did you guys see that she had to like apologize to Snapchat because it lost so much stock after she...
Oh, she said she doesn't use it?
Yeah. So...
Well, Rihanna...
Why are all your neighbors outside?
What was the Instagram thing for Rihanna? Oh, no, that's not us. We don't care.
They can burn.
Alrighty, well, I think that's all the time we have for part 2 of this podcast. I am your fearless host, David Lamison. I've been here with...
Dave.
Fozzie.
Your Uber driver, Pete.
Thanks for listening, everybody, and sayonara.
Is it this street right here? Make this right?
No, keep going straight.
Oh. Alright, I'll be now!